Um, we are looking at some videos that my sister sent me about her garden space, and she lives in France. So I want to go through some of those videos, and then we will, talk about them.
Do you have one of these in your house? Well, we do, and we cut it down once a year because it just grows big and ginormous. It's our big grass plant bush thing.
So this bush that she's talking about, this ornamental grass, she could cut this in sections and remove it and put them in different spots in her yard. And she's also chopping it down, kind of like mowing the grass, but ornamental grass grows taller than just normal grass. And so she's going, every year she chops down the grass and then she does stuff with it. Me and my wife, we do the same thing. Most of the time I throw my grass waste into my compost bin. Let's see what she does.
Grass plant bush thing. And when we harvest it, we put it inside our garden bed, and then we add more soil on top. Now this garden.
So essentially, she's composting her waste material, which is a really good use of it, because throw it in there, add some more soil, maybe add some leaves, add some maybe she's growing tomatoes and she can cut down those tomatoes and leave the tomato plants in there, and really just it composts over time, and then that makes this soil here really rich, amazing soil. So nice job, man.
It has gotten broken over the winter, so we'll come out and fix it. But we cut down a tree, and instead of purchasing wood like we did there.
So I really like this. So she purchased the wood for this back box area, which is how it has these nice, clean, 90-degree angles and crisp look. But I really like this look too, like a lot. And it's because she's using the materials that she has at her house to build something that she wants. And that's a really good lesson to learn, is we don't have to necessarily go out and spend thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars on wood or cinder blocks or big boulders to have this really nice, beautiful raised garden bed. She says she cut down a tree, and now she's using this to build her raised garden bed.
Utilize what we had, and so we'll build this back up, and we'll stake it in to hold it together, so we'll have a functioning wall like this one.
And I really like that they use other branches of the tree that they probably cut down stuff, and they stake them into the ground to help hold the wall together. And I think that's a really good use of your materials. Is that the only way to do it? Well, no. She can get rebar and drill holes and throw some rebar down. She can screw these together, use brackets. But she was trying to keep costs down. In fact, maybe even free. And she's using what she has to build a beautiful garden space. Something that I thought of when watching this video that she could do to help hold the logs tighter together, or so they don't like bow, because when you put a lot of dirt inside a raised bed, it actually pushes out. There's a lot of pressure. And so what she could do, she could lay down her first layer of log down here on the bottom, lash these two stakes together, lay down the next log, then lash the two stakes together, lay down the third log, lash them together, and that will really hold together those stakes. And so if it starts bowing or pushing out, it's going to have to, like for this wall, for example, it would have to push this one down and pull this stake out. But if she lashes this side to this stake and this side to this stake, then if this wall starts to fall, it would really have to pull this whole entire wall, this other side, with it. And so that could be a really good way to kind of help hold it together tighter. And she could use like paracord, she could use twine, rope, whatever she has on hand to lash them together.
And then now these will be ready to add dirt back up to the fill line. And we have utilized our waste matter in a very efficient way. Okay, bye.
So I really like that. She's using waste matter. She's using waste matter for her soil and also waste matter for her raised garden bed. So that's a beautiful use of her materials. So nice job. All right, here is our second video. Let's scoot over so we can see a little better.
Hey Luke, another problem area. We have naturally wild, maybe they're not wild, I don't know. They were here before we got here, but they are vining roses. They grow really good in the...
So vining roses might also be considered climbing roses. So when you go to a nursery, ask them for like vining roses, they'll probably take you to the climbing roses section.
Flowers are so cute, but they are very spindly like this, and they just go crazy. And we don't want them falling into our pathway where we walk.
So, so a few things that she's talking about. One of the problems that she has is that the vining roses are what she considers spindly, or basically they have multiple different stems, and they fall over once they get bigger. But she loves the cute little flowers that come on them. So problem number one is, how do you keep vines together? And then the second problem that she just said is that how do you keep them from falling over into her pathway here? So I have some ideas that I will share with you guys once we get through the whole video about how she can prevent all that.
So I need an idea of some kind of trellis or arbor. I don't want to go too high above our fence line. This is a tree that we chopped down to give it some new growth and energy. We'll see if that works.
So I see a third concern that she has, or she didn't really come out and say it, but so this is a tree right here. So once this starts growing bigger, these vines will want to latch onto those tree branches and the trunk of the tree and kind of grow up the tree, which could over time take over the tree, choke out the tree. So that's something else that we just need to keep in our mind when we're planning on how to help her out. We want to try to keep that tree clear of the roses.
But right now it's just kind of holding, as you can see, we pushed it behind the tree to kind of grow along the brick wall, hopefully. But again, empty space, there's nothing for it to attach to. But it's so pretty when it blooms in the spring. So I think maybe this is the time of year to work on some projects like this before the bushed out, gets going. So I need an idea of what to make that's not too expensive, that's cute. And we have a bunch of them. We've got some on this side of the yard.
So before she goes over and talks about the other side of the yard, she had some criteria that she had. One is she doesn't really want to get rid of them because she loves them. So she needs an idea on how to keep them contained, I guess. Second is she wants to do it during the winter when they're pretty much dormant. If she needs to build a structure of some sort, or plan and build something else out, like a pergola or something, or I have some other ideas. But so she wants it to be inexpensive, and she wants to do it. She wants to do it during her winter months or rainy months.
And we have a bunch of them. We've got some on this side of the yard as well. This one got really tall, and we allowed it to grow up onto the top of the fence line. And
so if you can see here, vines in general, they will find their way. Chain link fences are amazing for vines because they'll weave in and out or climb across. This is why people use like cattle panels for their grapevines and stuff, because the grapes will find their way and latch onto the little sections, these little, I don't know what you call them, these little open spaces, cross members of the chain link fence or the hog wire fence.
The difficulty is that every year we have to get a ladder to try to pull it back into the fence line. But yeah, same thing as wild rose bush. Here's another one. And it keeps falling into our pathway, and we want to keep it up against the fence. Right now we're trying to aim it towards the vine, but I also don't want it to be in a competition, so I'm not sure what to do with this one.
So just like the other side with the tree, we don't want these climbing roses to be in competition of any other bushes or plants. That's a real thing to think about when planting plants or transplanting or planting your yard. Is there certain plants that are more aggressive, faster growing? Is there plants that are going to take over each other, or can they live in harmony with each other? So that's something to think about when designing your garden space.
But we have them up and down in between all of our very planned plants that were tree plants that were here before we moved in. So again, this is what it looks like when it's a baby. I think they're just wild and they do so well. So we're just using this old trampoline. We just took down the stuff to use it. Now we're just staking it and tying it, trying to keep it out of the pathway until we figure out what to do with all these pretty roses. Okay.
So I really like that too. She's using again what she has or can get her hands on. I don't know where they got this old tramp. Maybe it was theirs or a neighbor's, but she's using the legs of the tramp to, stabilize or help hold up the rose, climbing roses. So to go back to her first area, let me see if I can get the video back here. Just want to show the pathway. So she has this pathway. Sorry, guys. She doesn't want the roses to fall over and be on top of the pathway, which is probably smart because she has little kids running around playing, and the last thing you want is for them to come running in with a rose thorn stuck in their foot or their hand or something. So a few thoughts I had was, first off, she has this awesome, cool, old school, trying to find a good picture, this rock wall here. So she could utilize that and, maybe throw in some bolts and brackets and have 2x4s sticking out of the rock wall, and then train the plants to grow up on that. That's an option. It's not my favorite, but it's an option. Another option that she has is, so if she wants it all along her pathway, she could do basically, I don't really know what you would call it, but they're like, you can put 2x4s or some sort of posts. She could use cut down trees like she did with the garden bed. Put them into the ground a couple feet and have them stick out 5 or 6 feet, 6 or 7 feet, depending on how tall you are. And then you do that every, let's say, 3 or 4 feet. And then you can put a cross beam across each of them with other logs or a 2x4, and then train the roses to spiral up the post and then spiral across the cross braces. So the only thing the best way I can describe it is, here, let me grab some pencils here. So you would have a post. Let's see, where's it going? There's a post. Let's go this way. And then this post would have a cross brace that goes across the top here, with another post over here on this side. So just a big U shape. or upside down, N shape, I guess you can say. I have grown different climbing flowers along my pergola, and that's what I've done is along the 2x4s I will wrap them. The older they get, the more vining they get, so I'll wrap them tightly around the post, and I use twine or little strings, or you can just wrap them and hopefully they'll stay. And then now that they've gotten to the top of the pergola, I'm now wrapping them, trying them to go in between all the cross members of my pergola. So eventually I would have this beautiful covered pergola with like wisteria or honeysuckle. I think that's what I have outside is honeysuckle. So she could do that, but instead of a big pergola going across the pathway, she could just make them skinnier and have them go along the sides of her pathway here. Or she could do the same thing but have it go over the pathway, and so it'll spiral up, come across the pathway, and then maybe make their way down this way, or have another rose bush and they'll meet up at the top. Like any other plant, vines want the sun, and so they're going to keep climbing higher and higher until they get the sun. There's not really a catch-all, like a one and done type thing. You just gotta build a structure, figure out what type of structure you want, and then train them. Over time, they might get a little crazy. You might have to prune them back or rewrap them again, and that's fine. That's not a big deal. But that at least gets them up, like a support, like her trampoline post that she had. It gives them a structure that you can tie them to, so that allows them to stay strong and tighter together. By wrapping them, you're adding some aesthetics of getting the flowers 360 degrees around this structure, and then it gives them space to run across something that's not necessarily your fence or your wall or another tree. So those are the ideas I have. Depending on what the overall look that she wants for her yard. I think the one that goes across the pathway would look pretty, especially if this pathway leads them to cool areas of her yard or up to her back door. It kind of feel like just this tunnel of beautiful roses. And you can build these out of any type of material. She could use PVC pipe if she had it, taller logs or branches. It just has to be big enough and thick enough and strong enough to hold the weight of the plant over time. So and you can do it on both sides of the wall. So she has this other side that she was talking about, how she wants it up and down this wall here, from probably towards the front, towards her house, all the way towards the back of her yard. She wants these rose bushes, and being that they're kind of wild or more native to that area, she has an abundance of them. So it's a great use of, again, what you got to make your yard pretty. Now it's just manicuring it to fit the style that you want. So if you guys have any ideas, throw them in the comments below, or message me or whatever, and I'll pass your ideas along to my sister Amber, who's in France. Cool. Hey guys, I wanted to tell you thank you for watching those videos with me. There's a bunch more that she sent me that I plan on talking about and going through with you guys again at a later date. If you have any suggestions on how she can improve her garden space, or maybe you're in that zone area, I believe she's in zone 8. She's over in France. Please drop some comments or suggestions in the comments below. She's always looking to improve her gardening skills. I'm always looking for new ideas and new thoughts, and we all live in different climates and stuff, but it doesn't mean that we can't brainstorm with each other and share ideas. Also, don't forget to share this video, share my website. I really appreciate if you guys can subscribe and like the video. I'm definitely trying to grow this channel bigger and better. I want better equipment so I can produce better quality videos and whatnot. So with your guys' help, we can definitely accomplish that. And We'll see you guys next time. Thank you from the Tough Club.